Hey, folks, it's Dave here, and I guess it's my turn to lob a video back. No, jeepers. As soon as the wife gets on the road, she's got a call. Hang on one second. Sorry about that. She's been going from doctor to doctor today. Not how I wanted to start off the video, but so anyway. So it's my turn to lob one back. 'Cause I know Appa 66er and Jason and Tebow have been talking about it. ID's going to be talking about, I think, APBA Football tonight on his channel. And so I just kind of want to chime back in here and just say, I read all the comments, and you know, everyone is right. All the pros and all the cons, you're exactly right. There's not one person was really out of line with anything. My thing was, I saw the setup videos, and I think that's kind of what I'm going to be leaning towards when I go to set up my games of Apple football now. But I did I wanted to try it my own way. I wanted to set up like the rosters like I do with the baseball game, the baseball lineup. So I have them, and I don't have to go looking for them. I like to have everything kind of ready to go. So during the game, I'm not flipping around. I wanted to have everything all set. So that's why I tried it that way. It just took me an hour, so that's not going to work. So then I went a little faster, and I got it down to a half hour. Still, that's too much. Um, and then I saw some other people just how they did it. I was like, okay, I'll try it this way. So I kind of just ripped everything out and did it quicker last night, and the setup was much faster. You still have to pull out 11 defensive guys on one team and 11 on the other, so you can get the numbers added up. And then the same on the offense, because you do need to get the numbers of all four squads. However, I think once that's done, so you can just write that down on your roster sheet and say, okay, so Philadelphia defense is 39 and their offense is 38, and I don't have to go through that again. So that's done. So the numbers are done. Then you just got to figure out if you ever need to roll on a defensive card, then you need to know who's in what column. So that's why I did it my way, because I didn't want to get stuck saying, oh boy, who's this guy here? Who's going to get the ball here in an obscure role? And then again, I'm still getting used to the APA way of doing this football game, where the kickers are listed as ends and halfbacks or fullbacks or whatever it is. And Jason talked about the nostalgia of it, and that's great, and I get the nostalgia of it. Myself being a more modern guy with enjoying 70s and 80s, I would rather have them be called kickers and punters, and returners and wide receivers, instead of everyone being called an end or a back. So I get the nostalgia behind it, but it doesn't make that any easier for me, who's brand new to the game, to sort out who's who. Okay. And that's the absolute truth about that. Doesn't mean it's a bad game. It doesn't mean I'm not going to play the game. But let's face it, if it said kicker and punter instead of KA and TA or ZA, would that be a hell of a lot easier? Yes, it would. Yes, it would. So there is a setup. I saw Tebow's video today. He was setting up again. And no matter how you slice it, you're looking at a 10 to 15 minute setup. That's just kind of how it's going to be. So there is a setup, and that's what it is. Now the game itself is fine. I love the game. I was playing it a little last night offline and then a little bit online, and it was fun. It's fun rolling the dice and seeing when you're out on the field and looking at the player card. It's kind of fun. There are some annoying things about it. Excuse me, the fact that you're always rolling off the quarterback card for a pass. It just feels like the receivers really aren't part of the play. I mean, I get that they're rated A, B, and C, but I would like to see the receivers involved a little bit more in a pass than just the quarterback. But that's just me. I do like how you roll off the running backs cards. That would make sense in the whole bit. So a lot of it is really fun. I really liked having my receivers and running backs in front of me, and and I like rotating through them too. So what was kind of fun is that I could run my top two guys over and over, but then bring in a third back like they do. And so you're not always running Andy Johnson and Sam Van Cunningham for New England. You can bring in a Mosey Tutupu and a Horace Ivory and stuff like that, and just makes it kind of fun. And when I did that, when one of my games I was playing, I brought in like a third string guy. He caught a touchdown pass. It was kind of cool that I brought in him and he scored the touchdown. So that was kind of neat. Mark's coming by and David C's coming by, and they're asking how I'm doing. A little better. And ID's coming by. And ID said he might be having a chat tonight with Tebow to talk football tonight. We'll see. That would be round 2 of the ID Tebow football chat. Hopefully it's a better one. ID, I would suggest playing the game. The game itself is fun. But you're right. You do a lot of setup, and you have a lot of cards in the table that are just in the way. That's really the honest to God truth. I mean, and for some people that's a bother, and to some people it's not. But that's the case right there. You got a lot of cards on your table because you never know who you're going to need, and that's the thing about football is that there's a lot of cards. That's why I bought the Strat football off of Facebook. Somebody in a nearby town had it for sale, and I picked it up. It was brand new. I still in a shrink wrap, and I tried to play a game, and there were just cards all over the place. I'm like, man, I can't play this. It's just not enough space to put all the cards down. That's just kind of how football is. There's just so many people on the field at a time, and then you got offense and defense. So there's a lot of bodies on a football team, and so that just makes it kind of tough to play on a tabletop. I think it's compared to baseball and compared to hockey when it just works a little bit easier, And Marco comes by. Marco, I've been meaning to get a hold of you. I wanted to see how you were doing because I haven't heard from you in a while. And I went to send that message off this morning, and I got tied up. And ID says they're talking Master Baseball tonight, but they might see they're going to talk about some football tonight. And he said they scheduled that earlier. Okay. And Glenn stops by as well. And Mark asks how I'm enjoying the game. Well, I got off to a really rough start, as mentioned in one of my other videos. And the first thing I had a problem with was the roster I got. The PDF roster, the print was so small, I couldn't read the names. And I didn't even know that they had the kicker ratings and receiver ratings on there because they were so small. So I didn't know who was what. I had no idea. And it wasn't until Thomas sent me over a better looking roster where I could actually read the darn things that it made sense. So I get off on a bad first step with this game. On top of my 78 Dolphins reading 2001. I know it shouldn't bother me that much, but it kind of does. I don't want 2001. I wanted 1978. Now every time I pull out the Dolphins, I got to look at 2001. That kind of bothers me a little bit. That they wouldn't even say that. If you order this set, by the way, the Dolphins are listed wrong. Nothing. They just kind of charged me full price and sent it to me. It's like, that's kind of, at least tell me that you have a mistake. Maybe offer me $5 off the set, or offer me the chance to buy the actual team for $10 or something like that. I don't know. Somehow make it right for me, the customer. That's kind of how I feel about that. And I love all the Appa games. I do, and the whole bit. And I'm not trying to dump on it, but I think that should be fixed. And like I said, I didn't even know anything about it till I got there. It was the last team. Actually, it was the last team in the box. Like, oh, I got the 2001 Dolphins. What the hell is this all about? But Garrett, your premium wasn't on the 2001 team. So anyway, and Jeremy stops by. How am I feeling? Well, a little better. Boy, I tell you, the last 2 days I've had razor blades in the back of the throat. It's been bad. And last night I had to open a window in the bedroom just to get some cool air in because I was so dry. It was driving me nuts. But the aches are gone. I had 2 days of aches. I was concerned. And the aches are gone. So now it's just getting the throat cleared up. Just walked the dog today, too. So doing a little bit better. He's sacked out over here. He's a team player. But anyway, so yeah, just getting back to Appa football. I really like the game. So let me just get that on the table. I really like the game. The game is fun. It didn't take long. I kind of skimmed through the rule book. I got up and running. No real issues. I did stumble on a fumble last night, and I don't know how to handle a fumble, so that's why I stopped streaming. So I got to figure out how to handle a fumble. The flags were simple enough. The scrambles were simple enough. I'm still getting used to like the 09s and the 010s as far as punt returns. So when the punt's away or the kick's away, it says like 39 010. I mean, it'd be nice if it said like PR1, punt return 1 and punt return 2. That would, the coding is kind of weird. I'm looking at the TA. I mean, it's just I'm not used to it. It's so different than anything I've ever seen. Usually it's the initials go right in line with the position, and these kind of don't. The TA and the KOAs and stuff like that. I mean, I'm still figuring all that out. So, and then once I get that down, that'll be good. And I have my little cheat sheet here. I put it away, but I had a cheat sheet that lists all of them. So if I ever get stuck, I can look at it and say, oh, okay, yeah, that's who that is. But the game I was enjoying. I did enjoy the game. It's just a lot of cards on the table. The setup, it's a pain in the neck, and it just is. But I think again, once you set up the teams and you get the numbers for offense and defense, you don't really get to do that again. So what I was thinking of doing is, when I play two teams, get the starting defensive players, get all 11, get my total, and just put a rubber band around them and say, okay, here's the starting defense. Don't touch this ever again. Don't touch the defense, and the same on the offense. Don't touch the starting offense ever again. Those are my guys. And then everybody else can kind of go off to the side, and you don't really need to worry about them until something crazy happens. So, yeah, that's kind of what I would suggest with that. Let's see. Has Miroslav stopped by? Good to talk to you here. Good to see you here. And just kind of volleying back my video for Tebow and Jason and Appa 66. And I've watched your videos a couple times too. So, don't think that I haven't watched them. I've watched them a couple times. I just wanted to try to set up APBA football my way and see how it would come out. And obviously the first way was the wrong way. And then the second way was a little bit better. And now the third way, with really not setting up anything at all, just kind of finding the guys and getting the number, and then just start the game. And then if I run into any issues, then I will take care of it then, is what I'm thinking. So now the question here is, after my current experience with Appa, I'm assuming Pro Football, am I considering upgrading to the master version? Not right now. I still want to play it more and get used to the basic version, it just worked. Appa, you roll the dice, look at the card, go to the chart, and you get your results. And that's the beauty of Appa. And that's why I wanted to try the game out. So, no, I'm not looking to take this any further. Like even with the baseball, I'm not looking to play anything more than basic baseball. And unless I can see something that's going to really kind of make me quiver in my boots about the master football game, I like what I have in the basic. It does exactly what I want to do. We just did a show. Was it this week or last week? It's like, what do you want out of your game? That's what I want out of my game. I want a simple football game where it's not going to be, I'm not going to be jumping through hoops and, trying to learn calculus just to play your game. I want to have something that's nice and easy and fun to play. And the basic game of APBA football is that. Again, I don't know how the master is and how it shakes out. But for me, the basic game is what I want out of the game right now. Marco chimes in and says, from my perspective, seems second season a better version of APBA. Whole team on the card and plays a streamline, and abbreviations make sense. I would agree with that. I've gone back to this one here, the Quick Tex football. Okay, that just seems to be my football game of choice right now. It just works for me. And for some people it doesn't work, but it works for me. I just it's got its flaws, but for me, I can roll to get my play and to see who's going to run and receive the ball. The receiver and the quarterback work in tandem for the play. And then you roll dice, then you go to the fast action cards to get results, and they can kind of be varied by what happens. You get some pressure on the quarterback. That makes it kind of fun. You get possible interceptions and fumbles in there, bad snaps. It just is a whole level of detail in this game here for a quick game. Now it still takes you an hour and a half to play, so let's not get crazy here. The Quick Tex football, it's quick, but it's not like a 30 or 40 minute game. It's still going to play by play, and you still got to kind of go through the whole thing. As my dog upstairs is losing her mind. We left the door open so she can bark. Oh, perfect. So again, it reminds me a lot of the fast action football game. It reminds me a lot of solitaire pro football. It just kind of works for me. Both of those games worked for me, and I like this one here too. Second season, that worked for me too. Again, it was a little weird because I didn't know when to bring in the backups and when to go 3-4. And see, the thing with football, and even with the Appa once in a while, is that you have either a defensive lineman or a linebacker. So you're going 3-4 or 4-3. I have no idea when to put that in. I have no idea when one goes out, one goes in. I don't know enough about defense in football to do that. And so again, when I'm playing second season, do I ever refer to the second guy on the list unless there's an injury? Or do I just assume that every defensive player plays every down and every snap in the game? That was kind of my issue with that one. When I'm playing these games here, like the quick decks and the fast action football and solitaire pro football, none of that comes into play. The defense is kind of a generic role, and you don't have to worry about bringing in defensive guys. You don't have to worry about changing strategies up for defense. The defense is kind of baked in. And for me, that's what I prefer. Again, other people might want to get really into the weeds and the X's and O's, and that's perfect. For me, I don't like having to think about personnel. And that's why the quick decks works for me, is because I can just roll, and that 1 to 20 roll, much like Solitaire Pro, it's going to give you a good variety of who's going to get the ball and who's going to catch the ball. And that's what makes it kind of fun for me. And every now and then you roll and you're going to get, I'm looking over here. So I got Roger Craig and Dexter Carter. Well, every now and then you're going to get Tom Rathman running the ball. And that's what makes it kind of fun there. So again, just kind of my 2 cents. Again, and they're all fantastic games. I've played all these games I'm talking about here. There's not one I don't like. Okay. Some just work better for me because it's just what I want out of it. And despite the Steeler hat, let's see here. What do we got here? 2012 says, enjoy the vids and discussions. Check out a football game from GameCraft called Breakaway Football. More than a game situation, plays fast and does things differently. I will have to write that down. So GameCrafter, I'm writing this down right now. GameCrafter, Breakaway Football. Okay. Then that'll be on my things to check out. Thank you so much. I'm doing okay. Feeling a little bit better today. Boy, the back of my throat's feeling a little bit better. Holy cow. And then the aches are gone. I definitely had a touch of the flu with the aches. Oh, the aches were bad. You're just sitting there in bed and you're like all night long. You know how it is. It's like you're cold, so you bundle up. And then I'll say, oh, man, I'm hot. You rip the blankets off and you open a window. Oh, now I'm cold again. Close the window, get under the covers again. Oh, now I'm hot again. That's what it's all night long. But I guess that's how you go through this stuff here. Southpaw comes in. I can send along some football helpers. Digital to dice at yahoo.com. Digital to dice at yahoo.com. You can zip me off an email and I'll check those out. Yeah. No, I appreciate all the help I've got. I got a lot of comments. I get people that have Facebooked me, people that have emailed me, and they're really kind of helping me kind of push through this little learning curve here to make APBA football work. And I want it to work, as someone said, I spent a lot of money on that season, and it's one of my favorite seasons, and I would like to play it and make it work. And I hit some stumbling blocks, right out of the gate, and it made it really not very enjoyable, which is too bad because the game itself was really fun. But I've had enough bad experience out of the gate that I'm a little sour right now. I'm not going to lie. But the game itself is fine, so I want to play. Now, if the game if the game stunk, or at least if I play the game's like, wow, not only does the setup a pain in the neck, but the game is just not all that fun, then it'd be an easy, see you later. But the game itself is fun. The game itself is very fun. It does what I want to do. It's a nice, simple version of football. I really enjoy it. And I like the APBA engine where I'm rolling and I'm looking at the card and then I'm going to the chart. I like that. I know some people don't like charts. I do. I like the APBA hockey charts. I like the APBA baseball charts. I do. And that's why I wanted to try the football. And let me see here. We have RC saying lifetime strat football player. For me, strat is more streamlined. Stats are acceptable. How APBA feels more like football. and he thinks the stats a little bit more accurate. I haven't played much strat football. If I do, it's on the computer, and because I don't play it much, I have a heck of a time even trying to start a game of strat PC football. It's not like the hockey, and it's not like the baseball, and it's not like the basketball. It's its own way. And it takes me 5 or 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes of scrolling around just to find out how to play a game. Because I just haven't played it enough, and it's so different. And once you find out, it's like, oh, okay, that's how they do it. But yeah, it's like Indiana Jones going through the tunnels for me to try to start up a game of Strat PC football again, because I don't play it much, and it's different enough that it's not as easy as hey, let's play a game. It's like I don't even know what the steps are. I got to just kind of click around until I stumble on it and say, hey, I'd like to play this game, but not all the games. I just want to play this one. And for me, it's again, that's another one that, when I think about obstacles, when I want to play a game of strat football, it's like, man, okay, I got to set aside 10 minutes just to figure out how to start a game. But the game itself is fine. I've had a lot of fun playing the strat PC football once I figure out how to start a game. I still think Inside Blitz is an underrated game. All team offense and defense adjustments on the page and gives good results. I really like the PC version of the football game. I really do, because it kind of does all your plays for you. You can still change your play if you want, and then you just kind of following along and clicking around. I do really, really like the Inside Blitz PC version. I have a bunch of seasons with that, and I play that, and I really do like that. Marco here agreed. I tried Quick Decks and loved it. I'll dive deeper into next football season. Yeah, I don't know. I've been really kind of enjoying the Quick Decks here. Again, it's got its flaws, and every time I find one, I write it down, and I get a hold of Grant and I say, hey, what's up with this? Or what's up with that? And so we could try to patch things up here in this game. Again, there's no perfect game, but this one here, the zero setup. In the Quick Decks, you just have your teams out. I got my team, I got my offense and my kicking, because there's really no defense in this game. And then I just start rolling dice and flipping cards and follow along with the play. And the thing about this game, there's enough detail going on with every play that I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling the plays with the Quick Decks. So in other words, if I look over here, okay, so I'm going deep to Bavaro. All right, so I'm playing the Giants and the 49ers. So I'm on the Giant 24, 3rd and 9, going deep to Mark Bavaro, and I got a sack of 7 yards. So I rolled. There was pressure. The pressure got to me, and they sacked me, and I could feel that whole play. It was really kind of neat that's kind of how it happened. Then there was another play. I'm going deep to Baker. I checked down to Meggett, incomplete. You just feel like you're watching the game when you're playing this game, and I take my time with it, and I'm in no rush because I'm enjoying every twist and turn of the play. I'm enjoying following the pressure. Do they get the quarterback? How does he escape? Does he escape? What is that going to change? I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying the different ways you can punt. You can kind of pooch kick it, and try to land it inside the 10. I'm kind of liking that. There's a lot of little things that just make this really, really fun. And again, to some people, they'll find it kind of difficult, because I found it difficult at first, but there was enough of this game that just resonated with me that I'm just like, okay, I just need to kind of figure out how everything works. And I really enjoy it. And again, it's a small footprint, which is another big deal for me. And coming back over here. And if you play strat football, you'll need ID's solitaire play calling sheet. Okay. And RC says he doesn't like the strat computer, likes cards and dice. Been playing it since 73. Nice. Well, the strat football it's a cards and dice game, so you can see the dice roll. You could actually look at the cards if you want to kind of get the results. That's what's fun about the strat PC games is you see the cards like you would on a table. So when the dice roll comes up, you can go to the card and see, okay, it's a +4 gain, or it's a 0-yard gain, or it's a fumble. So you can read, you can follow along. That's what makes the strat games fun. And when you got Action PC, it's all closed engine. And 2nd and 10, well, suppose you can read the dice. I have no idea what they mean. I couldn't tell you what they do, what a good roll is or a bad roll is. Ron, I think might know that, or maybe Al or ID, but I don't know what that is. But for me, well, I play the strat PC games because I'm in a cards and dice mode, and I don't want to set it up on my table. And RC says, I think strat computer football is superior to both of those, and he's run action PC leagues. That's just my view. Have I ever tried the 49 turf football and evaluate how big the difference is between that and the quick version? No, I have not yet. I have it right here behind me. I'm enjoying the quick decks version, and that's what I'm playing right now. And at some point, I might look into it. There's just a lot more happening. And right now, with the quick decks version, there's enough happening for me. I don't need anything more. I don't need to be playing defenses, and I don't need to be going crazy with anything else. I really kind of like it's just. I think when you play the full game, there's a lot more modifications each way. So instead of just flipping a card and getting a -10 in the quick decks, again, I could be wrong, but I think what happens is you go to the offense and you'll get a 3, and then you go to the defense and it's a -13, and that's how you get the -10. I think so. You're still getting your -10. It's just it's not showing up on the action card. You're actually getting it from both teams. I think that's how that goes. So at some point I might try it, but I'm really happy with the quick decks version. Just like I'm really happy with the basic Appa baseball and the basic Appa football. So I don't really have any urge to go any further with that, at least right now. At some point I might, And I see a lot of people talk about data-driven football, and you can get a whole game done in 2 hours. Okay, nice. And yeah, I was talking to Grant about his hockey game, and he was running through some things, offline with me, and he's already done a video on it. And a lot of it's like where the puck is and who has the puck, and you roll to do that. So it's a little different than most of your games where it's like, what are you going to do? Pass, shoot, penalty, face off, whistle, whatever. It's a little different than that. There's a little bit more detail going on with that. So I'm really kind of interested in that myself to see what he's going to do with that. But anyway, here, oh boy, I'm getting beat now. I got to go crash for a bit and hopefully I'll sleep tonight. But I just been in and out of bed for a few days. That's kind of how I get rid of this stuff here. As you can see, I'm all stuffed up again. But anyway, yeah, thanks for tuning in. As I'm just kind of, volleying back my Appa football video to Tebow and Jason and Appa 66er, and even to ID a little bit. That I just want to be clear. I like the game. I like the game. Okay. There is some setup involved. And so all the people that, that don't mind the setup, but some people that do mind the setup, that's part of it. And I think there's a better way to set up than I was doing. And I think once you get a couple of teams set up and you just kind of, the numbers of the starting offense and defense, once you have those numbers, you never have to really do them again unless you kind of change out people. But then it does kind of work. But again, you still have a lot of cards on the table. I was getting confused, probably because I'm not feeling good, but I was calling plays with the Washington quarterback and the Philadelphia receivers because I had so many cards on the table. I was getting confused, and now maybe if I were feeling better, I wouldn't get confused. And maybe if I separate them and really kind of focus on it, then things would be better. But, I was making a lot of mistakes in this game. I got off on the wrong foot. I had bad rosters to start. Now I have better rosters for this season, and I can read it now, and I'm getting used to some of the symbols and what they are, and just so things are smoothing out a little bit. But I did get off to a rocky start with the game, and then and as once you start getting frustrated with a game, it just snowballs. Let's be honest. If you've ever tried to play a new game or anything you've tried to do that's new to you, once you start doing it and something goes wrong, you just start with an attitude, and then this is wrong, and then this is wrong, and it's like golf. You hit a bad shot, and you go up and you hit another bad shot, and you're just like, and then you just like swinging at the ball just to get it on the green because you don't care anymore. And that's just kind of human nature with some of these things. And sometimes I'm not very patient with some of these games, and you kind of get on that path there. It's like, oh boy, I'm screwing up again. Here we go. It's like, I need to take this and throw it away. But that's just kind of human nature. is that we get frustrated, and then that frustration snowballs. And so that's kind of how this was going with me. But once I fired up the game, it's fun. Maybe one project to do would be to go through the whole season, go through all the offensive defenses and put elastic bands around them and get their numbers. And then that way everyone's all marked. And then so if I wanted to play, New England and the Jets, I just pull them out and I have my offense and my defenses for both teams ready to go. And I have their numbers and there's no setup. That's another way to do it too, is to kind of pre-set up, is get all the numbers together, get all your guys that you're going to have in front of you, your quarterbacks, your kickers and your returners. Those are the guys you're going to read mostly. And then you're all set to go. So there's a bunch of ways to do this. There really is. That'll make it less, it won't hurt as much. Let me just say that. And so that's what I need to do, is kind of just focus on that. Let me see. And Charles, is it better than Solitaire Pro or Quick Decks to make it worth what you have to spend on it? That's a really good question. I don't know. It's definitely the most expensive football game that I have. That's for sure. But like anything else, it's like when I started playing Solitaire Pro, I didn't think there'd be a better game than that. And then I found a couple other games. And, oh, these are really fun. Second season was fun, and now Quick Decks is fun. Even I want to go back to the Fast Action Football from Downey, which is a real stripped down version of the game, but it works and it's fun because it's simple for the most part, and it's just a really, like I say, Quick Decks is kind of like a Fast Action Football on steroids. It really does a lot more to it. It's a lot more complex compared to that game, but it's quite fun. But as far as Appa goes, I don't know. I guess I'd have to play it more. Maybe if I get the setup better, and find a couple teams that are already set up and I don't have to worry about it and I can just play them and just have some fun with it, I'd have a good time with it. It's hard to say. It's an easy game. The basic game is easy to play. It really, really is. And that's what makes it fun for me, is that it's easy. And that's what I want out of a football game right now. I really don't want to be sitting there scratching my head and trying to figure out too much. I did that a little bit with the Quick Decks, just to kind of clarify a few things, because there's a lot of moving parts with Quick Decks. But if you think about it with common sense, it really works out well, and it's super fun to play. So, all righty, I am going to try to feel better. Thanks for coming by, peeps. And I just want to send a thanks out to Tebow and Jason, Appa 66er, and anybody else who's commented and emailed and sent messages as we try to solve the Appa football setup dilemma. And that's all it is right now. The game's fine. It's just I need to find a good way to set it up, and I think I have. I think I've got enough advice and things like that to make it happen now. And so now it's just, full steam ahead, with the Appa football. I'm trying to play that and have some fun. So I think the hard part is behind me here, and it's just a matter now setting it up and playing and enjoying the game. And that's what I'm hoping I'm going to do. And so I'm Dave from Studio B. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.